This morning I'm going to talk with you for those of you who've been trying yoga, doing stretching, but don't feel that they've achieved any results. And I hear this all the time. I step into a yoga class, I do a forward fold, I can't touch the ground, and then by the end of class I can touch my shins or almost get to the ground or get to the ground. And then I wake up the next morning and it's like starting over again. So what are some reasons why you're stretching and you're not receiving any results? And the first thing is a mind shift, because you might be surprised that sometimes all the effort you're putting in on the mat, in class. Good morning, Jacqueline and Maurice. If you guys want to chime in at any time, please do. But have you ever felt like you've put in the effort, but then you actually go backwards sometimes? And what I find in a lot of my yoga classes are that students are overdoing. They're really forcing the postures, or really they have this expectation in their mind of what their body should be doing, and they're trying to get there all in one class. And the result ends up being that the body pushes against them and fights against them. So often in the clinic, when patients and students come in for one-on-one sessions, they are surprised when I say, "Good morning, Maurice. Good to see you on here. I hope Canada isn't too cold this morning over there." Is that they're told to back off. So even though they've been told by a doctor, another physical therapist, a yoga teacher, even myself, that stretching is needed to, for example, help solve their low back pain, often I find that they're overdoing. They're really forcing a stretch, and their body is going to recoil against them. Or what they're feeling is not really muscle, and they could be stretching nerves. So a couple of differentiations is, number one, figuring out your edge, so to speak, of knowing how much to challenge and push yourself and how much is overdoing. And why is that important? Is because often people are also surprised is when working to heal or get a change in the body, you really have to work with the nervous system. So take, for example, the psoas muscle, which is one of the deepest muscles of the front body. It's in the pelvis. It originates on the spine, along the spine, and bends itself in the disc, the diaphragm even, and travels all the way down to the femur. Now, physically, this muscle is a hip flexor, so it draws the torso towards the thigh or the thigh towards the torso. Hi, good morning, Linda. So I just want to highlight that the whole purpose of this is, I'm going to highlight why I tagged Linda here in a moment, is so the muscle tightens physically when sitting for long periods, those of you that are runners or cyclists, this sort of thing. So intuitively, or we've heard before, we need to stretch our psoas to help take pressure off the low back and reduce crankiness or nagging aches and pains back there. So then often I see in my classes people are just really going for it in Warrior One, for example, or lunge pose, anything that's really going to stretch the psoas. The thing about the psoas is that's super important is it's one of the only muscles that's really embedded by nerves of the nervous system. So when stretching, if you take a step back and really listen to the body, you'll know that, or you'll feel that there's this line of what the body feels is safe for you in that given time, and what might be a challenge and unsafe. So sometimes in yoga, we push ourselves, or stretching, or whatever you're doing, is that you hit up against this boundary of what the body or the mind for you tolerates as being safe. And if you cross that safety line, so there's these little Golgi tendons embedded by the muscles, there's proprioception receptors in our ligaments, and if those are dinging to the brain, alert, alert, danger, danger, you're at risk for injury, they're going to cause the body to recoil and fight against you. So if you are not creating an environment or an experience for your body to and mind that where it feels safe and supported, then it's going to fight against you and it's going to recoil against you. And all this effort that you're putting into stretching is going to be a fight against yourself. You're not really going to get anywhere because the body's going to fight back and say, no, what you're doing is dangerous and I'm going to tighten up even more. So in that instance, the best way to go about stretching the psoas, if we're using this one particular muscle, is to really back off and use the breath to calm the nervous system. And that's the whole point of why I tagged Linda, because today's podcast that I just released is on more breath techniques. I'm going through this breath phase in the podcast, or series, I guess I should say, on the importance of the breath in different ways to access the breath from different professionals. And this week it's all on, it's through Linda Vazim. And she is a breath specialist that really educates us on the importance of the breath, how we can utilize the breath to get results in the practice that we want, whether it be emotional, mental, or these physical changes that we want to see in the body, and some specific breath techniques that you can utilize. So make sure you head over to the podcast, because that brings me full circle to the title of today's Facebook Live. Is if you're stretching and you're not feeling the results that you really want to see, or if you're showing up in the mat and for that hour of a yoga class you see and you feel results, but then you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and you don't see those same results again, you feel like you're starting over, you might want to try something a little bit different, a little bit new, and that's holding yourself back from the physical work of the stretching and utilizing more of the breath and noticing the internal sensations of what's going on when you're actually practicing. For me, as a hypermobile yogi, this is how I practice, and it was a huge mind shift change several years ago, but it's made a world of difference in my practice now, and it's really what I teach and practice in my own life. So I just wanted to share this with you, and I hope you enjoy this week's podcast. If you do want to dive deeper on low back issues, for example, if you do have a psoas issue and you're in San Diego, I'm teaching a psoas workshop. I'm super excited about it at Gather Yoga Studio in Encinitas, December 14th. So head over to Gather's website. You can get registered through there. Definitely register. This already hear that this is filling up. So make sure to grab your spot. And it'll be the perfect workshop to complement following Thanksgiving and ease you into the holiday season, so you feel replenish. Your cup is full before you head into the holiday season. And if you want to work on the low back specifically, if you're in San Diego or not, you can be anywhere in the world. I have a free online masterclass on how to stop worrying about this low back issue. So if you've had a low back issue that comes and goes, you really want to end it for good, head over to the website, igniteyourwellness.com, and under classes, there's a drop down for free online masterclass. Head there, get registered, save your spot. So that is all for this week. Join me next week. Yes, next week is not Thanksgiving, so I'll be here Thursday, 9:30 a.m. on a new topic. And if you want to send me a question or a topic that you would like me to talk on, I'm happy and open to that. So just send me a DM and I'll add it to the list. And I love hearing that type of feedback and anything else. So talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.